Hey Alphas, it's Angelo with EarlyAccessMedia.com, and thank you for listening to Early Access Podcast episode 52. And as the title suggests, I'm about to fall asleep at my keyboard. I am just exhausted. I just spent the rest of the afternoon and evening playing through a game coming out tomorrow called Duskers. I was doing the quick look video and writing a review, which I actually posted to the forums because it doesn't come out for another 15 hours, and I don't think I'll be home to post the review to Steam, so I posted it on the website, and it's on the forums over there. But that's the first thing I'm going to talk about because it's one of the games that I played. So, Duskers, like I said, comes out tomorrow. I think it comes in into early access with a price point of $20. But it doesn't have any reviews yet because it's not out yet. I usually tell you how many positive reviews it has. Well, you can put mine in there and say that it at least has one positive review. So Duskers is it's an exploration game where you control a couple different drones. You start with 3, you can find more. But what it is, it's a lo-fi game that you know, think of like old computer monitors with little, green chroma. I forget the actual name of it, but just think of an old computer monitor. It's kind of like that with, it's got a little bit of color in it. But it reminds me of old MUDs from when I was a kid, like a multi-user dungeon. So it's got a command prompt box, and that's where you type in all the commands to control your drones. And what you're doing is, essentially the story is you are the last person alive on this space station. All you have is these drones. Well, you can't leave the spaceship, so you want to gather materials to survive, and I'm assuming get back to your home planet. So what happens is you have these drones, and you have an overarching display screen that you can click through, and you go from you start in a little star system of several different derelict spaceships. You see them on this little map, and you can board these spaceships, and you go room to room, controlling your drones either manually, so you can click them and actually control them around the spaceship, or you use the command prompt to move them around, and that's also how you activate abilities. And you're scanning for enemies, you're scanning for other life forms and everything. Not other life forms, but materials and fuel. And it's kind of like a puzzle game. And then, so you start in a little star system, and then you're going to go out to that star system's galaxy, and from there you have access to the entire universe. So it spans a large portion of levels, and what it is like each ship basically that you're landing on, or space station, is its own level. And the puzzle solving part comes in to what each drone that you have is equipped with. So if you have the radar equipped, or like the motion sensor equipped to one of your drones, you can type motion into your console, and the command will ping all the rooms near that drone, and it'll let you know if there's any enemies in there. And then using the console, you can unlock doors. You have to use certain drones you can get the generator ability, so you got to find these little power nodes and use your drone as a generator to power up more parts of the ship. And you're making your way through the ship, scavenging for parts. It's a really intuitive design for a game that's very minimalist. It's not crazy 3D graphics. It's very on its nose what it is. It's like you are controlling these little drones on what's essentially a paper map. I mean, you do get to zoom in with them, and there is interaction with the enemies, and you do have to you can get guns and stuff to fight back some of the enemies. But on its face, you're basically making all your decisions and trying to be strategic with how you're moving your drones throughout the around these ships and collecting these parts. It's also a little roguelike, whereas if you die or you lose all of your drones, you start over. But you can take your drones back to your mothership and repair them, and give them more ammo and recharge to the different abilities that have specific number of charges. For instance, the motion detector has 50 charges to start. All of the abilities are upgradable. Your ship seems to be upgradable. I only played a couple hours of it, so I didn't get to the ship upgrade part, but there is an option for all the ship upgrade parts. This is one of the better early access titles I've seen as far as like what's done in the game already. There's a lot of content here. The mechanics are very set in stone and in place. I've seen earlier versions of this game by doing a little research, and the developer has done a lot to make this game look and feel leaps and bounds better than what it looked like before. For instance, the drones used to just be little squares. Now each drone has its own, it's got its own body shape, and it's got its own little beeps and boops and noises. They all have names, so it kind of makes it feel like you're connected to these drones, even though they're randomly generated names and everything. I think it's a really cool game. I think they do a lot of stuff right. I recommend picking it up if you want to play a strategy game. Go check out my first look. It's on the YouTube channel. Or go over to the website, read the full review. You can watch the video there too. Duskers, I definitely recommend checking it out. It comes out today. It'll be today when this goes live. And yeah, it's just a really interesting game. They do some really cool stuff with it, and they take it back to less is more. It's nothing flashy going on, but it's very deep, and you're not doing too much outside of the box as far as like, oh, I gotta go and build this and build that. But it's got a deep mechanic set, and you feel like you're controlling these drones using the console. It's a very interesting game. I would definitely recommend checking it out. Let's see, what else did I play? Okay, I played this game. It's called Energy Hook. Now, I spoke about this in the last episode. Energy Hook is a parkour style game with like the energy hook's kind of like a zip line, or like a grappling hook, essentially. And the game's being designed by the inventor of the web swinging movement from Spider-Man 2. I actually did some research, and this is true, that this person did indeed develop the web swinging movement from that game, and you can feel it in this game. It's fluid. It actually works really well. The game is very early on, though. The concept is there. The web swinging, not the web swing, but the swinging works. But it still feels kind of weird. The camera isn't perfect. Some of the skills stuff isn't perfect because when you're swinging, you can do tricks in the air, and it's supposed to generate points. It kind of reminds me of like a Tony Hawk kind of game, because you're going up to like nodes. It's like more a little open world than that, though. You go to a level, and there's like these lights, the beam of light. You walk up to it, and it starts like a time trial, and you have to jump through rings as fast as you can, and that's basically the bulk of the gameplay. There's a leaderboard that keeps track of your time for the specific run that you're doing, but there's also, you can do these tricks and generate score that way, and that score is supposed to like accumulate. And I was reading some of the dev stuff, and it's it's not working the way he wants it to quite yet. However, the developer is super dedicated to this game. I was reading the forums, and he's got a laundry list of like over 100 items on a Google Doc that he posted to the forums to let people know the priority of what's getting fixed and how he's fixing it, and the time frames and everything like that. But it's got 9 reviews. They're all positive. Like I said, mine's positive, but with the caveat that you're buying into this game knowing that it's incomplete, and you might not get a lot of gameplay out of it, but you want to see it progress further. Because it is expensive. It's $18, and it's the random 12% off until, actually, it'll be sometime today that ends. So it's $15.83. The price point I think is set like that, though. Unlike some games where you get the MMOs that price point themselves out too far, and they're like $20, and no one's playing them because it's a $20 early access MMO, so they can't get enough people to play their game. I think this game actually works at $20. It makes sure it prevents people that are on the fence about it and would write a negative review from buying into it, and it allows the people that actually want to support the development of the game to buy in. And I think that's what early access really is all about. It's about getting people that want to help you develop the game. I mean, early access is supposed to be building a community around your game, and I think the $20 price point for this game actually works just because of what it is. So like I said, the swinging works really well. If you want to play this kind of game, like a fast-paced, traversal-ish kind of game, I would go at least take a look at the video. I have a first look up and a written review on the website you can check out. It's pretty cool. It's not like something that I would play a lot of, but I see what the developer's going for, and like I said, the developer seems to be very dedicated to the game. So hopefully it continues on that path of progress. But who knows? Alright, I did play a little bit of this game, which I didn't make a review for. I probably won't. It's just weird. I didn't get too far into it. It's called RPG, I guess MO. It's an MMO RPG that is, it says it's like Ultima and RuneScape. So it's a top-down three-quarter view, tile-based, like a grid-based MMO RPG. I mean, you're like this little pixel guy, and you're moving across this grid, square by square, and you're attacking things. It's kind of weird. Like, it tries to explain how it works in the beginning. I didn't really get it. It's got mostly positive reviews, 75% out of 68. It is a free-to-play game, though, so I think people are getting into it, trying out the free-to-play stuff, and I guess they're finding something about it that they like. I mean, I could see it being a little dumb, jump in, play for a little bit, bullshit around, kill some stuff kind of game. And it doesn't seem like there's any in-game purchases or anything. So I don't know, go check it out. It's kind of weird. It's just not really my cup of tea. I don't see myself playing it for more than the couple minutes that I did. But who knows, I do get bored sometimes. Alright, last thing in this, I guess, intro to the podcast I want to talk about is a game that left early access. So this is from the developer Frozen District and the publisher One More Level, and it is called Warlocks vs. Demons. Let's see, it's saying it's launched now, but it was in early access for a few months. It's very positive with 128 reviews, 82%. Let's see, the release is $14, but it's 20% off until the 26th of August for $11.19. Now, I played this game, and it was fine. It was developed. It was going along pretty well, and it's like a wave-based kind of. It's not really a roguelike so much as like it's just like a wave-based pixel art fighter shooter. So you're the warlocks. You're fighting the shadows. It had a different name originally. Let me see if I can find it real quick. And apparently there was their online multiplayer added to it, which wasn't there before. New mode, Warlocks vs. Shadows. Attention please, update time for Frozen Lake. Trying to see if I can find the list for where they changed the name. It's not on here anymore. I'd have to go back and check. It might have changed because they changed it such a long time ago. Because I can't remember the name side because I wanted to tell you where to go look for it on the website. I think it was just called Warlocks, but I could be wrong. So yeah, you play as like one of several characters. You can choose them. You have a bunch of different abilities that level up, and you're fighting these shadows that come in waves. As you kill them at the end of every level, you get new ability, like new items and stuff like that. It's actually a pretty cool game. You it looks like they've added a bunch more levels just looking at the screenshots. I haven't played it since it released from when it was, since it's got its full release. But go check it out. The price point's a little high, but it seems like people have continued to enjoy it since I checked it out on when it was in early access. So congratulations to them on leaving early access and completing their project. It is a important thing for the early access program to have games actually leave early access and be finished projects, or products rather. Let's see. All right, so that's it for like news and what I've been playing. I'm gonna jump into the few games that I grabbed that have come out since the last episode. So the first game is called AI Invasion, mostly positive with 4 reviews, so only 75% of those, or 3 of them, are positive. It's $10, 15% off until the 25th of August for $8.49. Now, this is a top-down shooter. Just says it's an action shooter. It's space-based. Looks pretty cool. It looks like a twin-stick shooter. You're going to be equipping weapons and twin-stick shooting your way through a bunch of shit. It looks fine. Always like to see what the negative reviews are. Let's see, a lot like a PC version of Helldivers. I don't know what that is. Combat is very bare bones, gets repetitive quickly. So, control your teammates is ironically handled by the AI when you're not issuing orders. So I guess you have a team of other squad members that you are commanding as you play through this game. It looks alright. I would recommend taking a look at a video of somebody actually playing it to see what it's like. There's been a bunch of twin-stick shooters coming out. I feel like the space version of that isn't something I'm really into. But, a lot of these games just come out and they're all pretty much the same. I think that's why I like Duskers so much in this world of, it's a lot of twin-stick shooters and survival games and horror games, and, Duskers was something different. And I think that's why I enjoyed what I've played of it so much. This next game is actually something that's kind of weird. So this came out today. Well, it'll be yesterday. It was, see, it's kind of weird. So somebody actually messaged me and asked me if I wanted to take a look at this game, and it's called Darkstorm VR Missions. Now, when he sent me the link, or when I actually searched it, it came up and it said prototype in parentheses. They were selling it as like a standalone, like little prototype proof of concept to run parallel to their Kickstarter that's currently running. Now, what's weird is after a couple hours had gone by, somebody had mentioned that they had told them, like, hey, this prototype thing's not a thing. So they relisted it after a couple hours today as early access for $9.99. Now, the reason that's weird is because now it's at $9.99. It was listed at $4.99 when it was a prototype. So I don't know exactly what's going on with that. Also, this is a portion of a proof of concept, from what I understand, because the Darkstorm VR Missions, if you go look at their Kickstarter, is from a version of the game Darkstorm that they're building, and it's a third-person, well, it's a first-person, third-person. It looks like stealth co-op, stealth shooter, much like Deus Ex or Metal Gear Solid. It looks really good though. The gameplay looks pretty good. I think the reason that this isn't being lumped in with the actual Kickstarter game that they're doing is because they moved to, I guess, Unreal Engine 4, and the previous game was on a different engine, probably Unreal 3 or whatever the previous iteration of the Unreal Engine was. So the main character is a female protagonist, and you are doing something. And this is kind of like a VR missions like that you're doing to like learn all your skills and everything. Not VR like actual like Oculus headset VR, but VR as in like, it's all digital walls and stuff like that. It looks pretty neat, but like I said, it's I don't understand why it's being sold for $10. Because if you go to Kickstarter, I think there's a free demo, which is basically the same thing. So go to the Kickstarter page. The link's actually in the show notes. Go check it out there first if you're interested in checking it out before you go and spend $10. And if you do, I recommend making sure you follow what the developer's doing with their Kickstarter before you go and support the game on early access, because a lot of games run the green light with the Kickstarter. So when a game gets greenlit, it also draws attention to their Kickstarter program, which helps fund their project. Doing it this way is kind of weird, putting the game into early access before getting funded, especially when this isn't the game that they're kickstarting. So I'm not really sure what that's all about. Alright, this next game is called Creeps. It's a first-person shooter tower defense. So without even actually watching the video, I had a good idea of what they meant by that. You set up towers, but you can also go down and be the first-person view of the game. Actually, no, you don't even set up towers from like a top-down objective mode. So you do it on the ground, so it's all first-person on the ground tower defense. I feel like Command & Conquer Renegade did this before, which I love that game. God, I would love to see a remake of that game. It was so bad and good at the same time. Seriously, if you've never played Command & Conquer Renegades, just go look up some videos. It was such a weird, awesome thing. But this is, so it's $9. It's 10% off until the 25th, so it's going to be $8. It's like a wave-based shooter. You're setting up defenses, but you're playing a first-person shooter at the same time. It's like a horde mode with tower defense stuff. It looks pretty neat. It's doesn't have any reviews yet, though, which does not surprise me. But you can go check that out. Alright, 2 more games. We got this one. It's called Orion Trail. Orion Trail has 8 reviews, 87% positive. Came out the other day, and it is $10 in the early access program. And it's a pixel art style space strategy game. It looks like a click and point, choose your own adventure, not click and point, like a choose your own adventure style strategy game, sim style. It's got a cool art style. The characters seem like to have a lot of character. I know that sounds kind of backwards. It looks pretty neat. You're just doing stuff. You're traveling from, it looks like little interstellar node to node, doing different missions. And it says you're trying to cross the deadly Orion Trail. It looks pretty neat, actually. Let's see. What does the negative review say? Because there's only one. I backed it on Kickstarter, was excited, came out for $10. Half of what he paid on Kickstarter. I don't know. I can't read reviews where it's literally just a block of text. Like, it's just, I can't do it. Let's see. This guy said it's a very fun game that I even managed to run on my HP Stream 11. Gameplay is solid for early access. Cannot wait to see more missions. Love the new look from the first demo I played. So it seems like a lot of these reviews are from Kickstarter backers, which is kind of concerning only because of the fact that they have a vested interest already, because who knows how long ago the Kickstarter was, and they're excited to see some kind of product out there for them to play. So I will try to get my hands on a copy of this to check out, to give a different side of that perspective. Alright, the last game I got is this game called Flying Tigers, Shadows over China, which is a terrible name. I just don't like it, but that's just me. It's an air combat game. You drive. It looks like you're flying like bi-wing planes. And to be more specifically, it's an air combat action game based on the historical events of America's secret volunteer squadrons that flew over Japan in the China, Burma, India theater of World War II. Excuse me. The graphics look fine. It looks like a war game with ships. There's no reviews yet because probably the price point. It's got a single and multiplayer campaign, it says. it's $20, and it's 20% off until the 25th for $16. I would like to see some kind of reviews to see exactly what this game is doing, but it looks like a dogfighting, like, flight sim. More arcade, though, than like an actual flight simulator, it looks like. I don't see any dials on the screen or anything like that. But if you like those kind of games, you'll probably like it, I have to imagine, because we don't get too many good ones, and if the flight feels good, then it's probably worth your money. They have a YouTube account that you can check out. I guess they have a bunch of videos on it, and yeah, I can't really tell you how long we'll be in early access. It says until the end of this year. Better performance out of the early access. The game will be priced differently during and after. They may increase the price. Are you planning on involving the community? Blah blah blah. Doesn't really specify what's in the early access version of the game, but yeah, what are you gonna do? It looks really good. It looks good though. It looks like a good game. The aerials look really nice. The aesthetic looks good. It looks like a game that would fit into that time period. But that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Thanks for listening to Early Access Podcast, episode 52. As usual, when I live stream consistently, inconsistently. So follow me on Twitter at Early Access PC. If you want to support the show, the best way to do so is through the Patreon, patreon.com/Early Access Podcast, or it might be just Early Access. I always forget. Yes, it's just patreon.com/early access to support the show through that. When and if I get more Patreons, or any Patreons, once I get some going, I will start doing special things just for Patreons. Special giveaways. I'll try to do some special like interviews and stuff like that, and post them there first. Do some Let's Play stuff with patrons. Or if you want to help out the show, you can use the Amazon banner. Like I said, thank you to the people that use it over the last couple weeks. I've just noticed that people have actually been using it. I used to get notifications, but I must have shut them off. So I checked the Amazon page and saw that people were using it. So thank you very much. It really does help. So don't forget, if you're going to buy anything off of Amazon, just click through the Amazon banner at earlyaccessmedia.com. Bookmark it, and it really does help out the show. But other than that, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Early Access Podcast on YouTube. But until next time, guys, thank you for listening to Early Access Podcast, episode 52. This is Angelo, and I will see you guys for the next episode. Have a good weekend.